Okay. Hey, y'all. What the frick is up today? I recently, today's episode's gonna be a little different. I recently had my heart broken, and I feel like we need a fat debrief because if you've been following me on Instagram, you've been seeing me cry. And let's talk about it because now I'm in this era where I'm like, it's been a few days, you know. I'm not gonna lie. The first couple days were really, really rough. But now I'm on day 4. And honestly, it's not as bad as I thought to get over. So we need to talk. We need to debrief. There's so much to talk about. This has just been a crazy, chaotic few weeks for me. And I feel like we need a debrief, bestie boost. So let's get into it. Yes, I'm going through a breakup, technically. Yeah. I started dating this guy, and you guys know I overshare on the podcast, so I'm just going to do that. But this feels really weird because normally it's hard for me to talk about anything romantic ever, feelings, emotions. Yeah, but but I want you guys to be in on this because it's had a lot to do with like my personal development in the last week, and so we need to talk about it. I met this guy basically in like January, and we had been like about to make it very much official, and that is no longer the case. And it did take me off guard. It caught me off guard because there was nothing like technically wrong with our situation. So I was just like, what is going on? Like, what is like, why would we end this? But basically he came over, just caught me off guard, and we ended things. And you know what? It's okay. It's really okay. I am in this point in my life now where I'm just like, whatever. Like, honestly, whatever. Because why would I chase? Why would I be sad over someone who doesn't see my worth? Why would I sit around and sulk for someone who doesn't know what is valuable? Like, if you meet someone who's genuine and kind and caring and you want to throw that away, it's like, that's not a problem with them, that's a problem with you. Do you know what I mean? So I'm feeling a lot better about it. Guys, it was a little rough, I can't lie. I did listen to Olivia Rodrigo's Guts album, Go on a Run, and try to cry it out. I was literally like, okay, the thing about going through a breakup is you have to go through the sad emotions. You know what I mean? Like, you can't avoid them forever. You have to go through them. And that's just the suckiest, most annoying part. So what I did is I literally went for a run and I tried to cry out all of my tears at one time. I listened to the Guts album by Olivia Rodrigo, and I tried to just manifest all of my sadness and squeeze it out of me in one go. And I don't think that really works, but it did help. It did help because I think the thing with breakups is we always try to like hide from our feelings, and you always want to be okay like ASAP. So a lot of people, they don't want to deal with like the negative emotions. Like, they just want to be okay right away. And that is how you don't actually move on. Like, you need to go through the rough patch. You need to go through a little bit of a mentee B and lose your mind a little bit. And that is okay. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is actually really healthy. Hold on, I need my coffee. So that's how that's been going. Basically, I went to Coachella and didn't hear from him the entire time. And then the last day I got a text that was like, we need to talk. And I was like, what? I was like, oh, I literally know what that means. And I immediately got this pit of anxiety in my stomach because, I mean, no one wants to get a text like, we need to talk. It's like, girl, you're not being slick. We know what this is about. But I did feel anxious for like a full day. And then I came home and had to deal with that. But I just think that this is not an era where I'm supposed to be investing that heavily in anyone but myself. And that's a good thing. I honestly am one of those people. I don't know if you guys are like this, but I'm one of those people who, if I'm with somebody, I will give them my all and not really lose myself. Like, I've worked on that, but I definitely used to be the type of person to lose myself in relationships. And if you're like that, I just want you to know that that is not sustainable and it's never going to work. So I was kind of having feelings of like, you know, I want more alone time. I was feeling kind of anxious and like scared about my routine and my schedule, like adding a relationship into it. And maybe this is just like meant to happen, that I needed to clear up that space, because I'm the type of person who's like very loyal and I don't want to cut someone off if there's no real reason to. Like, I'll just find a way to make it work. But I'm trying to see the bright side here, and like, I have so much more time to invest in myself. If you're going through a breakup or you're sad because a situationship didn't work out, whatever it is, think about the bright sides here. Like, someone took themselves out of the running. You know what I always like to think about is like, what if you ended up dating this person for like a long time, and then one day they just switched up on you? Like, obviously their feelings weren't strong enough to value you, keep you in their life. So imagine one day it just clicks for them and they leave you, and you guys have been dating for a long time and you've invested so much more into that person. That would suck so much more. So honestly, whenever someone decides to leave our lives, guys, we just need to be so incredibly grateful and say thank you so much for showing yourself out, because it's hard when you have like a kind heart and stuff to leave people, and you know, to like stand up for yourself and leave when it's not what you deserve. Like, it is a little bit hard when you have attached emotions to somebody. So when someone takes themselves out of the running and clearly shows you how they feel about you and says like, this is not enough for me, girl, if I'm not enough for you, you're not enough for me. Like, that is the motto. That is what we have to keep in mind. Okay. I'm just trying to give myself all these reminders that I felt, because this is a weird situation, because my last breakup was like a 3-year relationship, and this is like a 3-4 month situationship. So it is a little different and it's a little weird, but it's kind of funny. And I've said this before in my TikToks. I feel like it's almost like more painful to end with somebody when it never actually started. Like, to be sad over someone you didn't actually date, it actually stings, because you imagined and got so excited over the idea of being with this person, and you imagined like what it would be like to date them, and then you just have to abandon the whole idea with not even giving it a shot, which is crazy. And it's also, I feel like situationships are harder breakups because you get love bombed. Like situationships are such a shorter amount of time that it is just such intense love bombing action. Like, I feel like everyone, my friends and you guys, have been in like situationships and tell me about it. It's like, it's so much more intense because it's such a shorter amount of time, and you fall for that person so much faster, and it doesn't actually develop properly the way it should into a relationship, which kind of makes it sting 10 times more. Like, I don't know. Situationships are not it, bro. They are not it. I have this rule where I feel like after the 3rd month of a talking phase, you should know whether or not you want to date that person. After the 1st month, honestly, you know. But after the 3rd month is when you're kind of like seeing their red flags for the first time, their flaws, and you can kind of decide like, is this going to be a relationship or not? If a talking phase goes past 3 months, that's where I'd be like, cut it off. You don't need that. That is a little too long for comfort, because you know after like the first 3 months whether you want to date someone for sure. Like, you just know in your subconscious. And if you put it off longer than that, or if they're not labeling it after that, they don't like you enough. I'm so sorry. I get a lot of questions on talking phases and how long they should be in situationships, because they're so confusing and every single one of them is so different. And I feel like everyone gets gaslighted when you're in a situationship to like stay in it and be strung around. And if someone's not labeling it after 3 months, they don't actually like you enough. So in my case, we were at the point where we were about to label it and it kind of fell apart. And you know what? That is okay. Sometimes people have things going on the inside of themselves where they can't give you their all, and it has nothing to do with you. Like, genuinely, you cannot take things like this personally, because it's not your problem. This person clearly has like things that they're dealing with where it's not a you problem. It's them in their own heads saying that they're not good enough, and saying that they don't have the time, whatever it is, the excuses, that is all in their own heads. And I've also noticed with breakups, like, people will try to give you excuses that make kind of no sense. Like, it's so funny. Like, people will literally try to come up with any excuse soften the blow. I feel like I don't know. I just feel like people like make up excuses like, oh, our dynamic's not working, or like I don't know. I feel like people come up with excuses so that they don't actually have to admit to their own insecurities. I feel like at the end of the day, when people are ending things, most of the times it's their own insecurities, it's their own problems, and they try to find other things to blame it on. So don't chase that person down for an explanation. Don't wonder what went wrong. And something I've learned also about breakups is you don't always need closure. It feels like you do. It feels like you need explanations, and it feels like it'll be easier to get over if you have a clear explanation of what went wrong in your head. But the truth is that you don't always get closure, and you don't always need closure to end something in your head. If someone is not sticking around, that is closure enough. Like if someone tells you straight up that they want to leave, if someone tells you that they don't want you, that is sign and closure enough to be like, okay, moving on, next person. And I know it sucks when someone has potential in your head. I think that's one of the hardest parts about situationships is like you see the potential in them to be a great boyfriend or whatever it is. And then it's 10 times harder because you're kind of clinging on to this personality you made up for them in your head, or the good side of them that they showed you one time. Like you just end up clinging on to the good parts and the green flags. But at the same time, you're ignoring all the beige and the red flags. Like you just let that go, huh? Like you're not thinking about it, huh? And I am here to remind you that one thing I did to get over this pretty quickly, and something that you should do too if you're trying to get over somebody, is write out a list of why it didn't work and why it will never work. And I think this is really helpful because when I first started liking this guy, I had a standards list, and I was like comparing him to my standards list and being like, okay, like does he meet what I need? And that is number one, really important when you have a crush, so that you don't get too caught up too fast. Have a standards list. And if you don't know enough about this person, or if they're not meeting your standards enough, and if you don't have each box that you want checked off, don't let yourself fall for them, because then you're making it up in your head. Like you need to write out why you actually like this person before you give yourself permission to like them. That is my new rule with crushes. But anyway, the guy I liked, he actually did meet a lot of the things on my list. So I was like, ugh, okay, I'm allowed to like him. I'm allowed to give this a shot. But now that it's over, I wrote out a list of things that I would never want, and things that were giving me anxiety and making me uncomfortable in our situation. And it makes it so much easier to get over because you look back at that list. Like your mind likes to sabotage you. Okay. When you're getting over someone, your mind will replay all the good moments, pull up all the good memories in your camera roll. Your mind will trick you into being like, no, this was your person and you're doomed and you need to go back to them. You need to text them. You need to call them. Oh, that is not true. And that's why we need the list. The list is your reminders as to why this was never going to work. And the list is also going to consist of what you deserve that this person did not give to you and will never give to you and could not give to you, to keep yourself in check, because it is so easy to fall into the trap of missing them when you know you deserve better in the back of your mind. Also, it's so easy to miss them, but when you're actually with them, like think about the things that bothered you. Think about the things that made you feel irritated and annoyed and unseen and unheard and not understood. Because clearly there were things that went wrong. You know what I mean? Like this was not all sunshine and roses if it ended. So you need to pick yourself up, remind yourself that you deserve better, and make your list, okay? That really helps you get over somebody. What else? I'm trying to think right now. I was going to answer some questions from you guys, and maybe I'll do that really quick for the end of this epi. I was going to answer some questions while I'm here because we haven't caught up in a while, and I honestly want to do a whole episode debriefing Coachella too, because oh my gosh, that was crazy. But this obviously just popped up. Anyway, I'm going to go to my Instagram chat. If you guys aren't in the group chat on Instagram, it is my new favorite thing. I literally talk to you guys on there, and I can ask you for topics for the pod. I can ask you to vote on stuff, and we just talk there. I give life updates. I send pics. And so if you're not following my Instagram, go there and join the group chat. It's called BESTIE Booze. You can go to my page, and it literally just says like join group chat. Let's see some stuff from there because you guys were voting on topics for me to talk about. So let's do that right now. Okay. I am going to look there. Oh, guys, I posted a singing video on Instagram the other day and it was so scary, but y'all are so nice to me. Let me know if you want me to sing, and also comment what songs I should sing next because that would be really funny. Okay. Someone said, I'm picking topics from here now. How to get over your ex-best friend / friend breakups. Okay. I think we should talk about friend breakups really quick because they're kind of similar to relationship breakups way more than you think. Like, friend breakups are actually really similar to romantic breakups in that they're kind of worse. Like, I love my friends, and if I lost like a really good friend of mine, I think that it's so much worse because you're so like candid and so unfiltered with your friends. Whereas with like romantic people, it takes you so long to get to that point. But friendships are just on a different level immediately. Like, they are just the best. And when you have like good friends that you invest in, it hurts so much to go through a friend breakup. Like, those are the worst. But what I can tell you, and everything's clearer in hindsight, obviously it's going to hurt in the moment. But as someone who's been through them and has gone out of them, and I don't go through a lot anymore because I'm very selective with my friends, and you just need to know that you deserve better. That is number one. But it's really hard because I feel like friend breakups happen when you're younger and you want to have people to hang out with. So you'll like put up with things that you know you don't deserve. If someone is truly meant to stick around, they will. I think that everything happens for a reason, and not all friendships are meant to last forever. Sometimes you're meant to meet people just for a certain season of your life, and they're meant to serve a specific purpose, whether it's to teach you something about yourself or guide you on a different path. Like, I am so deep in this belief right now that everything happens for a reason, and I am where I'm meant to be for a specific reason at every point in my life. And that mindset truly helps you detach from like anything sad that happens to you. Like, even with this like whole situation that I'm going through, I have this deep belief that like where I'm meant to be is where I'm meant to be for a reason, and whoever's coming and going is for a specific reason. I'm just gonna let it happen because nothing that's ever meant for me will pass me by. That is something that I believe so deeply in, and it helps you be confident. It helps you not cling on to people when they want to leave. It helps you be so independent in your thinking because you have a full life. You have yourself. Yourself is all you really need in this life. Like, to be honest, you're going to have yourself forever, and people are going to come and go. And you just need to trust that everything's on the right timeline, number one. Number two, if something is meant to happen for you, if something is meant to be in your life, if something is for you, that will never pass you by. Like, that is yours. And having this belief makes me feel a lot less anxious because I feel like, okay, everything's on the right timeline. I don't have to control anything. I don't have to convince anyone to stay because people are going to come and go. That's life. And the right, good quality people take time to find. Whether that's romantic, whether that's friendships, good quality people take time to find, take time to vet out, and take time to realize that they're going to be in there for the long run, okay? But the right people will stick around, and you don't have control over that. You don't have control over that, so there's no need to stress over that. And that is such a good mindset to be in. Like, it's not up to you. It's literally not. The right people will stick around, the wrong people will leave, and kick them out the door. Like, literally goodbye. Like, that. Why would you want someone who's going to give you half effort? Why would you want someone who's going to betray you? Why would you want someone who doesn't prioritize you as they should? Like, we're not here to stick around and teach people how to treat us. That's not your job. And I've been in relationships where I've literally tried to change people and tried to convince them, like, oh, this is how I want to be treated. Like, can you just fix this one thing? Like, blah, blah. And it happens over and over again. And they're never going to change. Like, once you meet someone and you're telling them over and over again what you need from them and they're not doing it, that person's never going to change to be there for you magically. Like, you need to pack up your stuff and realize, if you don't give me the stuff that I deserve, if you don't give me this relationship that I deserve on a friendship level or on a romantic level, I'm going to leave because I deserve way more than this. And I think I've been feeling a lot better about the whole situation just in this mindset. And I just want you guys to know that I'm here for you no matter what happens. And I love you guys. And also the amount of support that you guys have shown me through this week has been the most that I've ever experienced in life. And I honestly have been like so touched every single day by like your messages and stuff. I've been reading like all the DMs, all the comments that you guys have left me. I have never felt so supported by a community of people, and I just love our family so much. Like, I cannot explain to you, this was my dream since I was like 13 years old, to have a community on the internet that is there for each other like this. I'm here for you guys, and you guys are obviously here for me, and it makes me want to cry. Like, the messages I've received have been the sweetest things I've ever read in my life. So with that being said, I love you guys. You guys are actually my best friends. I promise I will do the cringy crush stories podcast episode next week, because this came up and I just wanted to keep you guys in the loop and debrief. But I will definitely let you guys know about the cringy crush stories. I think that would be such a funny episode. If you haven't already, leave me your cringiest crush story in the comments, in the comments of the podcast, in the comments of the YouTube video, on my Snap. You can message it to me. I will go read them. Make sure to follow my Snapchat and my Instagram at Niki_Patton, and my TikTok. And subscribe to the YouTube and follow the podcast. Those are my things. That is how you're going to reach me. Make sure to join the group chat on Instagram, because that's my new thing. And I love you guys, and I will talk to you in the next one. And let me know if there's anything else you want to see in the comments. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Mwah. Forehead kiss. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye.